beautiful. We're reading in the text, chapter 18, The Passing of the Dream, section 8, The Little Garden. It is only the awareness of the body that makes love seem limited. For the body is a limit on love. The belief in limited love was its origin, and it was made to limit the unlimited. Think not that this is merely allegorical, for it was made to limit you. Can you, who see yourself within a body, know yourself as an idea? Everything you recognize, you identify with externals, something outside itself. You cannot even think of God without a body or in some form you think you recognize. The body cannot know. And while you limit your awareness to its tiny senses, you will not see the grandeur that surrounds you. God cannot come into a body, nor can you join him there. Limits on love will always seem to shut him out and keep you apart from him. The body is a tiny fence around a little part of a glorious and complete idea. Wow. It draws a circle, infinitely small, around a very little segment of heaven, splintered from the whole, proclaiming that within it is your kingdom where God can enter not. Within this kingdom, the ego rules, and cruelly. And to defend this little speck of dust, it bids you fight against the universe. I'll pause here and say, fight against reality, fight against what is. This is something I've been working on in my life, is just loving what is. Because anytime I complain about anything or don't like anything, I'm condemning. And why? This is what is. And when we learn to love what is, despite appearances, that is the portal to open any door. This fragment of your mind is such a tiny part of it that, could you but appreciate the whole, you would see instantly that it is like the smallest sunbeam to the sun, or like the faintest ripple on the surface of the ocean. In its amazing arrogance, and again, I'll pause here and say, of course, the text is referring to the ego identified, to ego identification. In its amazing arrogance, this tiny sunbeam has decided it is the sun. This almost imperceptible ripple hails itself as the ocean. Think how alone and frightened is this little thought, this infinitesimal illusion, holding itself apart against the universe. The sun becomes the sunbeam's enemy, even though the sun is the source of the sunbeam that would devour it, and the ocean terrifies the little ripple and wants to swallow it. I'm going to pause here and say, how fascinating is this? This is a really great metaphor, because the little ripple, the little wave, is created by the ocean, and yet is afraid that the ocean wants to swallow it. But it doesn't. The ocean is what is creating it. The sunbeam, looking at the sun, is the enemy, when it is emanating from the sun. So this is the madness of ego. How do we look at this in a practical day-to-day way? Well, it's so all-encompassing. It's really anytime we have any judgment toward anyone or anything, then we are being like a sunbeam that thinks the sun is its enemy. We are part of the whole. You're it. The thing you're afraid of, you're it. And there is indeed nothing to fear. The sun becomes the sunbeam's enemy that would devour it, and the ocean terrifies the little ripple and wants to swallow it. Yet neither sun nor ocean is even aware of all this strange and meaningless activity. They merely continue, unaware that they are feared and hated by a tiny segment of themselves. Even that segment is not lost to them, for it could not survive apart from them. And what it thinks it is, and what it thinks it is, in no way changes its total dependence on them for its being. The whole existence still remains in them. Without the sun, the sunbeam will be gone. The ripple without the ocean is inconceivable. It's so beautiful. It's coming home to that awareness of who and what you are, that you are not separate. You are an emanation of the vast ocean, this limitlessness. You are an emanation of the light of the sun. You are not separate from it. And it's only the ego that can imagine that it is. Thank goodness. The ego's strange imaginations do not change reality. And A Course in Miracles is bringing us back to that truth, so that when we're interacting with our loved ones, with strangers who are also emanations coming from the same source, we can look upon ourselves and others with gentle eyes, without judgment, because it doesn't make any sense. Imagine being a ripple or a wave, judging the other waves. Like, that wave shouldn't be, that high, or that wave isn't high enough, or that ripple's going in the wrong direction. It's like, just be. And allow others to be what they are without trying to fix, force, or control them. We will never fix, force, or control our way into happiness. That is ego's delusional plan, and it will never work. So I invite us this week to let go of fixing, forcing, and controlling, and see what happens. See how it feels. To only be in charge of your own sovereign self, and not allow our egos to convince us that our job is to fix, force, and change everyone else. It's absolutely not our job. And it will never work, and it will only create more waves and more confusion and more ripples of madness. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you so much. This is really, might seem like subtle and very esoteric work, but man, I can tell you from personal experience, the impact it has on your day-to-day life is astounding when you let it sink in, and you let it affect you, and you let it inspire you to make different choices and have different thoughts. Thank you so much.